pain slammed into Thorne, a tidal wave of agony that threatened to drown his consciousness. He gasped, his body rigid on the cold, metallic floor. Fragments of memories, a flickering Martian timeline projection, Elias's panicked face, the echoing voice of the masked figure swirled within his mind, refusing to coalesce into a coherent narrative. Where he managed, his voice raspy and weak. He tried to sit up, but a searing pain shot through his head, forcing him back down. The room swam before his eyes, a chaotic jumble of emergency lights and diagnostic panels. He was in a Chronarium Laboratory, but different. The air felt heavier, charged with a subtle energy he hadn't noticed before. "Careful," a familiar voice cautioned. He turned his head, struggling to focus. Standing before him was himself, older, more composed, radiating an almost unsettling authority. The older Thorne's expression was unreadable, a mask of calm detachment. "You're in the subterranean chamber," the older Thorne said, his voice measured, "a place not meant for your eyes." What's happening?" Thorne asked, his voice trembling. "Elias, where's Elias?" "Elias is preoccupied," the older Thorne replied, his gaze distant. "He attempted to reroute the temporal flow, but his efforts were insufficient. He is being processed." Thorne's stomach churned. "Processed? What do you mean, processed?" "The watches require certain adjustments," the older Thorne said vaguely. "Interference with the cycle is not tolerated." "The cycle?" Thorne repeated, struggling to understand. "What cycle are you talking about?" "The rhythm of existence," the older Thorne explained, his tone cryptic. "The predetermined sequence of events. You disrupted it." "How?" Thorne asked, pain radiating outwards from his temples. "Your actions with the Martian timeline projection," the older Thorne answered. "You peered beyond the veil, seeking knowledge that was not yours to possess. You triggered Protocol Obsidian." A jolt of recognition struck Thorne. Protocol Obsidian. A fail-safe mention in hushed tones during his initial training, a desperate measure to communicate with the Watchers in the event of a temporal crisis. "Why didn't you tell me any of this before?" Thorne demanded, his voice gaining strength despite the pain. "Some truths are best left buried," the older Thorne replied, his gaze unwavering. "Your innocence was a shield protecting you from the full horror of what lies beyond." Suddenly a voice echoed through the cavernous chamber, swirling around them like a phantom wind. "The game has just begun." Thorne turned to see a shifting, swirling form materialize before them, a being of immense power, radiating an almost palpable sense of ancient knowledge and cosmic indifference. "You have awakened something, Thorne," the being intoned, its voice a chorus of countless whispers. "A power that transcends your comprehension." "The Weaver's Gambit," the older Thorne murmured, almost to himself. He knew this day would come. "What's the Weaver's Gambit?" Thorne demanded, desperately clinging to any thread of understanding. The older Thorne ignored his question, his gaze fixed on the being. "We have much to discuss," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. "You cannot defy the Watchers," the being warned, its form flickering with an unsettling energy. "Your actions have consequences." "We are not afraid," the older Thorne declared, his voice ringing with an unexpected defiance. As the being began to speak in a language Thorne couldn't understand, the older Thorne extended his hand, and a shimmering field of energy enveloped Thorne. "You must remember," the older Thorne said, his voice fading. "The key lies within the temporal echoes. Find Elias. He holds the fragments you need to repair the Loom." "The Loom?" Thorne repeated, as darkness threatened to consume him. He awoke with a gasp, lying on a cold, damp stone floor. His head throbbed, and his body ached, but he was no longer in the Chronarium Laboratory. He was in a vast, subterranean chamber illuminated by the soft glow of bioluminescent fungi clinging to the walls. He was alone. He pushed himself to his feet, his legs shaky. The air hung heavy with a strange, earthy scent. He stumbled forward, peering into the gloom, desperately searching for any sign of Elias. As he rounded a corner, he saw a colossal structure dominating the chamber. It was like nothing he had ever seen before, an intricate network of interlocking gears and shimmering crystals, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. It was the Loom, a device capable of manipulating the very fabric of time. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber, sending a chill down his spine. "Looking for someone, Thorne?" He spun around to see the masked figure emerge from the shadows, its form obscured by a swirling cloak. "Who are you?" Thorne demanded, his voice trembling. "A guide, perhaps," the masked figure replied, its voice distorted and unsettling. "A messenger of the Watchers." "What do the Watchers want?" Thorne asked, his gaze fixed on the figure's masked face. "They are displeased with your interference," the masked figure said, its voice dripping with amusement. "They seek to restore the cycle." "And Elias?" Thorne pressed, his voice desperate. "Where's he?" The masked figure chuckled, a chilling sound that echoed through the chamber. "Elias is where he belongs under their care." Thorne clenched his fists, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew then that he had stumbled into something far more dangerous than he could have ever imagined. He was caught in a web of ancient secrets and cosmic powers, and his only hope was to unravel the truth before it was too late. He took a deep breath, steeling his resolve. He would find Elias. He would discover the meaning of the Weaver's Gambit, and he would stop the Watchers from tearing the fabric of time apart. He started to run deeper into the heart of the Subterranean complex, determined to confront the darkness that lay ahead. The game had begun.